Okay class, settle down, settle down. Today we're talking about framing in Mr. Robot. Now before we start today's lecture, I'm just gonna say, don't watch if you've not seen the show. There's gonna be so many spoilers and it's one of my favourite shows. Go watch all 4 seasons, come back, and then we can have a chat, because spoilers ahead, basically. So today we're talking about framing in Mr. Robot Season 4. But first of all, what is framing? Framing is described as the way the elements in a shot are arranged. This could be how close, This could be how close or far away they are from things in the camera. It could be where they are in the frame. Are they center framed? Are they side framed? You've got depth, how close things are to the frame, how far away, what's in the foreground, what's in the middle ground, what's in the background. And you've got angle, what angle is the camera at? Basically, what does the camera do to show the things that are in front of it? And Mr. Robot is one that's had a lot of discussion about it, because it's clear that Sam Esmail put a lot of effort into thinking where he was going to frame the characters and objects in each shot. Mr. Robot is fairly well known for its unusual framing. It's been commented on by meme culture and very good video essays alike. Excuse me, can you take your seat? Can you take your seat? What are you doing? You're not a lecturer. You're supposed to be my pupil. You're breaking the suspension of disbelief, Davros. He often deliberately breaks the eyeline rule or frames characters in an unusual position in the frame. Sam Esmail's unusual use of the frame is not something that is brand new information, which is why I want to talk about 2 specific scenes from Season 4, Episode 9 of this show. Scene 1, symmetry, asymmetry, and control. The scene I'm going to be talking about is Philip, no, thank you, don't focus on White Rose, focus on me, stop it. Stop it. The scene I'm going to be talking about is White Rose's final confrontation with Philip Price. White Rose is a character who's known for her control. Control of people, control of time, and control of the world around her.
So you should know that when I set a timeline, there's a reason. You have 50 hours and 23 minutes.
She demands that everyone meets her in her own terms and controls the world around her to ensure that this happens. So the scene we're talking about just now is when she meets up with Philip inside this building. White Rose, of course, being in complete control of Philip in this scene. She's surrounded by her men. He's in a situation that he doesn't understand. He's pretty sure he's going to die. This is a scene that's framed very intentionally. In these frames, the symmetrical framing is used to visualize White Rose's control of the world around her and of the people in it. Everything is precise and everything is exactly where it's meant to be. This includes Philip Price. She's designed it so Philip has to fall in line. This acts as one of her final fuck yous to prove that she has beaten him, to make him be subsumed in the world that she has created. But notably, Philip refuses to play along. He deliberately walks off of centre. He ruins the symmetry of the frames that she creates in the world. And in the dining scene, where White Rose again clearly intended Philip to sit symmetrically just as she is, once again, he refuses, sitting off to the side, ruining her symmetry and proving that he will not fall in line into the world that she's trying to create. I fucking love Philip in this entire episode because he's just a shit stirrer.
It's bad management.
Look at this face. That is the face of a man who's there to turn up, cause shit, and get shot. I love him. It's incredible. Later in the scene, Philip gets a 1-up over White Rose. Price tells White Rose that Tyrell has gone missing, something that she didn't expect. Her plan begins to fail.
I'd expect mutiny when they realize that Tyrell Wellick, your guest of honor and the sole purpose for the meeting, will not be in attendance.
This is something she hasn't planned for. This is something out with the world she's created. And as this happens, Philip places a bottle of wine in her frame, forcing an asymmetry into the shot. This shows White Rose's world of idealized perfectness has been skewed by Philip's actions. And once again, it's due to the framing of this shot that this internalized thought process of a character is demonstrated to the audience. For a large portion of time after this, White Rose is always framed squint. Notice the asymmetry of the backgrounds beside her, or the fact that she's walking just off to the side. Again, showing the fact that her perfect world is beginning to be offset and not quite right to how the way she thought it was going to be. Later, White Rose regains her symmetry. This is during the scene where she is talking to Elliot down the phone and to Price in the room about the fact that Angela is alive, and all they have to do is believe in her and believe in her project.
Angela's alive, and if you allow me, I can take you to her.
She is in control. She's got the world the way she wants it to be. Price begins to believe her.
And if you allow me, and
pain.
He begins to hope that maybe what she's saying is correct. He begins to fall into the center of the frame, fall into place, fall into where she wants him to be. The same happens for the framing of Mr. Robot and Elliot. They begin to be shoved into the world that White Rose has created for them. They begin to hope and believe that she is right, and they're willing to follow her for a split moment. That is until, of course, Elliot receives a text from his sister Darlene. His attention shifts from center to side. It shifts away from White Rose's idealised position for him and towards his plan and towards his sister and the people that he loves. White Rose begins to learn that Elliot isn't going to fall into line, once again challenging the perfect world she has created, which once again is demonstrated by the gradual shifting from centre. You can see that she gradually shifts from the middle of her frame and from her perfect symmetry. After Elliot hangs up, Price is once again reminded that his daughter is dead, that White Rose can't save him, and that he is not going to fall in line in her plan. So once again, as a little shithousery motherfucker, he sets off to the side of the frame to break the symmetry. So that's the end of scene 1. I thought it was once again a brilliant way of showing how Esmail's use of frame can show internalized thoughts and processes of the characters within it. And this brings us on to scene 2. If I can... Fuck, what? How? This is crazy. I didn't know this was a thing that could happen on PowerPoint. I don't want it to, but okay. This scene I want to talk about how Sam Esmail uses framing and angles to demonstrate to the audience the power each character has at each section of the scene. In the beginning of the scene, White Rose is framed from below, so the audience has to look up to her, and Price is framed from above, so that we look down upon him. Framing from below is a technique used throughout cinematic history. It's a framing technique used to connotate power. I forgot I did that. Basically, it forces an audience to look up to whoever's in frame, physically and metaphorically. It also acts to infantilize. Okay, Google.
Infantilize.
It also acts to infantilize the audience, to make us feel small and lesser within this grand power that we're seeing in the frame. By framing White Rose like this, we are framing her with a sense of power and awe that we, the audience, have to look up to. And inversely, Price is framed from above, which makes us look down upon him. Literally and again with the, yeah, exactly. It makes him seem powerless. It makes us as the audience look down upon him. This framing shows that he is completely under control of White Rose and her men. As Elliot and Darlene's code runs, as White Rose's bank is stripped of all its money, the framing does something fun. White Rose, who's initially shot from below, we as an audience look up to her. As she begins to realise what happens, her framing begins to even out. And by the end of the frame, we are looking down upon her.
What is this?
No. That's impossible.
As penniless, her power being stripped from her, the perfect world she created for herself is gone. Price, who is initially shot from above, he can't defeat White Rose, he is at her mercy. After this happens, his framing begins to even out. And in the end, we're looking up to Price.
Well, if it's what I think it is, we're all broke.
He himself still hasn't won, but in his own words, he didn't care if he won, he just needed White Rose to lose.
I told you long ago, I'm a mercenary. I'd rather see you lose than win myself.
And out of the two of them, he is now the character with all the power.
To have her past rewritten. And that's why it works, right?
Where is it, Philip? Where is my fucking money?
Gone.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. I just thought that was really neat when I was rewatching that. I really hope you didn't watch this before watching the show, because I just spoiled like 9 different things. And thanks for watching. Class dismissed.